I'm excited to announce that Experience Stockholm won the most trusted sightseeing tour company 2025 for Stockholm and a Travel Innovation Excellence Award in 2025 thanks to the European Travel Awards. So we got a little bit of Oddbird, this awesome spumante, sparkling wine, and I'm going to open it up to celebrate, and the whole team is going to be enjoying and celebrating with us. So yes, exciting. All right, let's go. Woo! We are the best. Oh my god.
If you open it slowly, it shouldn't burst with bubbles. You need to open it very... Let the bar woman help you. Do you want to help?
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up. Just shut
I can't have this though.
Shut up.
Shh. Let me go.
Let me go. Let it go.
I just want my eyes protected.
I'm just trying to get it out and my hands are all greasy. Wait.
Fran.
Wait, ready? It's coming out.
5 hours later.
We made it. To our team, school. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what you need to do. Click that button, beep, 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 and subscribe today. Thank you very much. We have a very special episode for you today. This is not your typical Somewhere in Stockholm episode. Obviously, you see there's way too many people in this room. It's already crowded. We are all here. It's our team. So quickly, let me introduce. Obviously, I'm Frankie, your host. And with us today, we have Anna Barboza, which has already been a guest on the podcast. We also have Sansha Thompson, who's also been a guest on the podcast.
Once upon a
time. So we are going to link all these episodes that came before. And we have Oscar, our illustrious new guest, and Alessia as well. Ooh. And behind the scenes, we have Laia, who I will, kind of plug in. I don't want to move the cameras again. But Laia is our new marketing intern. So she's just checking that the cameras actually are operating. So this is no longer a one-woman show. I'm very excited about that. And today we're going to cover 4 main topics. And I'm kind of going to break this down into a series of 30-minute episodes. We are going to start. And since all of us here in this room are immigrants, and proudly so, I would say, we wanted to have a little series that discuss what is it like to live in Sweden, what is it like to be a Stockholmer, coming from an immigrant background, and also discussing some of the idiosyncrasies and funny things that happen when you're a foreigner in a new place and you kind of start noticing how do the Swedes behave and what are some challenges we have faced here. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, my first question to the audience, whoever wants to start, is what were your first impressions of Swedish culture? Did you happen to have any funny anecdotes about things that happened to you and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that, I embarrassed myself so much? Anyone wants to start?
Come on.
Not all at once.
I think it was very, very quiet. And
okay.
To this day, I still find myself being very loud. And I'm like, I feel self-conscious sometimes because everything is so quiet. And then I'm there shouting.
Okay.
Speaking at normal tone.
Yeah, speaking at normal tone. Yeah.
But I actually don't think you shout that much. Like you have a low voice.
That's why that's how you see how quiet it is here sometimes.
Yeah, fair.
Even if you normal.
Any other comments? Things that were maybe surprised you at first about Swedish people, Swedish culture?
Yeah, I remember being in the streets and in my mind it was like, oh my gosh, the lights are very low. What happened to the bright lights that I am so used in Mexico, where I'm from?
Uh-huh.
So I noticed this way of living in Sweden with very low lights. And you enter a restaurant, you enter a bar, and the lights are always low.
Moody.
But I love it.
Yeah, I love it too, but it was different from coming from Mexico, where we are so used to have these bright, really high lights.
Okay, interesting.
I agree. But for me, it's a bit different. I was surprised that most of the cafes, I think my first visit was kind of autumn or spring. I mean, the spring and autumn for me are kind of the same. It's dark and gray and not much sun. And people carry a lot of clothes, at least because I'm freezing a lot. And then you come to any cafe or restaurant, and it's dark. Like, it's that dark that sometimes I don't see my food. And I prefer to see my food when I eat. I like to see all the nuances of the colors.
I prefer to see all the blonde hairs that come in my food, and I can pick them out.
I mean, yeah, that'd be nice too.
Yeah.
Before I start eating, right? And so I was like, how is it possible? It's not so much sun in this country, and they even put even more darkness indoors. And then people wear all black whole winter, autumn and spring.
You mean
So
like what they wear?
majority of
outfits?
people have this what I call dust, all shades of dust and dirt. 50 shades of dust and dirt. So all the blackish, red, blackish, green, blackish, all the dark, everything.
And
Yeah.
you like pink, so you stand out.
No, I like light colors, not pink. Pink is nice, by the way.
Yeah, but it's funny
Really? I
that in
couldn't tell.
summer all the Swedes dress exactly the same.
Yeah.
Linen, bright, well, light colors as well. Very neutral colors, I would say. Not that bright colors either.
Yeah.
So it's like the Swedish uniform for
Yeah.
winter and summer.
How about, did you feel, maybe this is a very charged question, but did you feel welcomed as a newcomer in Sweden?
Yeah.
I did.
I felt
Okay.
invisible.
You felt what?
Invisible.
Invisible.
Yeah.
Also,
Because we were talking about this earlier today, like people don't really look at you. So, and it's interesting because sometimes you have guests in the tours and they say, oh, Swedish people are so friendly. And yes, they are super friendly, super polite, super helpful if you go and talk to them. But in terms of, and maybe this is not even about Sweden, maybe this is just a big city thing. People don't really look at you. People don't interact with you very easily. So it's not that I felt unwelcome or anything. It just felt, I felt kind of invisible in a way. And I'm not saying that's necessarily bad or I'm not complaining or anything, but some sort of invisibility. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless it's summer, everyone is wearing bright colors and you are all bright green, which happened to me. And then one day I was like, oh, wait, I'm the only point of
People
color in
noticed
this
you.
whole thing. Yeah.
how about, maybe what was the hardest adjustment for you as an immigrant? Anyone wants to speak to this? Also, all of you have been here at different, lengths of time. So maybe if you speak to hardest adjustments, maybe can you say how long you've been in Sweden for?
I mean, I've been here 7 years. Oh my God, that's 3 years away from a decade. I can't even think of that right now. I think the hardest part was getting a community. That for me was, by community I mean like, more consistent social habit or establishment amongst a set group of people. And so, that was the hardest thing. And then, eventually it happened, but that was probably for a few years it was touch and go. Like I'd have some contact with some people, but it would simmer off and it didn't feel permanent. So I would say that was the hardest part. Now that's a different story, but yeah, so I think that's also one of the hardest things to move to Sweden for, which I think it has to do with the invisibility thing and kind of links to the first question is about, it kind of feels like, I don't know, there's this movie, I forgot the name, where this kid lives in this bubble because he has his mother made him believe, or he does have an immune compromised system. So they make him live in this bubble and he has no contact with the outside world. So his space is just in that bubble and no one can obviously come into that space. And that kind of feels like what it is here. But you can still interact through this bubble, obviously, and they're friendly, but yeah, so it's still there's this bubble you have to get through to get into it, and then that kind of thing. So yeah, so 7 years, building a community, social circle, I would say is the hardest thing.
Any other comments? What has been the hardest adjustment for you as an immigrant or as a newcomer?
Well, in my case, I would just like to point out that I came in a very privileged position. As a student, I was like this international student. Everything was very fixed for international students. We got accommodation and we got everything. And in the moment when I stopped being a student and I started to look for accommodation in the real world, that's when things became harder, because it was basically like finding accommodation among many people who are doing it. And the prices are more expensive. So I think that was something difficult. Once I stopped being a student and I started to look for a job and to find my position in Sweden, or find my spot, my place, you know. I think that was challenging in a way.
Yeah. And you've been on and off here for 6 years?
I have been living in Sweden for 7 years.
7
I
years.
moved here in August 2018, but in the meantime, I went back to my home country for a year and a half. And I was just coming and going all the way. And that happened because of the migration system. It's not precisely the faster one, the fastest one, you know.
Yeah.
It takes time.
I feel like of everyone here, you maybe and Alessia have been the ones with the Sambo visa that have kind of maybe struggled the most with crossing over to, you know, full resident status and actually being able to reside in Sweden. Do you have a sense, like, do you feel like Sweden right now is an immigrant, pro-immigrant or friendly country? Like, I feel like the politics of today, that they've really made it a hostile environment for immigrants to thrive in. Not just in terms of access and community and access to opportunity, but also in terms of, you know, yeah, just bureaucracy, like the amount of time that you take to get your permit approved and things like this. So did you feel that shaped your idea of Sweden in any way? Or Alessia, do you want to say something to this? Because you came during a special time.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Alessia, and I'm an immigrant.
We already know that.
I like that you're introducing yourself.
Yeah, like it's anonymous immigrants.
We're not so anonymous now, though.
Not anymore. Yeah. So I live here over 10 years. And when I arrived with my documents, hopefully I didn't struggle, but I know that most of the people who came later on was struggling because we had the big wave of immigration. And it was not very wise managed. That's why there was a lot of complications and conflicts in the society and the people who lived here, like both Swedes and previous immigrants. And I think that's one of the reasons why the some of the right-wing parties got a lot of votes, because people were kind of like, were not happy with that, and they put their hate and frustration on immigrants. They didn't want them to come. And since we got this right-left party, that all the help and the social support get produced. So I would say it didn't get better since I came here. So it got worse. And by what's going on now, it looks like it's going to be less good so far during coming years, until something changes and something like that. But for me, I agree with Sancha. I also had a struggle with this circles. Oh, and I also remembered about the language, because I remember that I struggled with that I cannot learn it right away. You know, like you cannot get the vocabulary. You cannot put into your head all several, like hundreds and thousands words at once, even during like, I don't know, like several months. You need like years to feel comfortable to get enough of vocabulary. But it was not enough for me. So I was very frustrated that I cannot express myself. And I know, like, I felt stupid. Like, I talked to people, and when I couldn't say things that I would say in English or Russian, in Swedish, I felt like, oh, I'm so stupid. when I wanted to describe, like how beautiful my day was, how is this shiny sky, this shade of blue mixes with pink, and in Swedish I could say bra väder.
Which means good weather.
Yeah, and I felt like, is this all conversation I can have? This is so poor.
You feel short of words.
Yeah, you feel like, I don't know, like, I know I'm not stupid, but I felt like I'm stupid. And this is, I mean, because I study with others in the course, so we share these discussions about how everyone feels. So it's kind of like everyone does go through that part. Yep. So that was not a huge struggle, but it was for a long time.
When you move to a new country, it feels like you went back to being a toddler. Because you have to learn the words, you have to understand the world around you, you have to make friends. So it feels like you go back and then you have to do all of that again, but as an adult. Because when you are a child, you don't care about how quickly you're learning, you just go with the flow. But when you are adult and you are already able to express yourself and to function and to do everything, and you have your friends and all your community back there, and then you start all over again. And then you cannot describe the sky or...
I would say it's even worse. And the reason why it's even worse is because when you're a toddler, you're not aware that you're a toddler.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you are aware, you're conscious of being an adult and facing some struggles. It also leads you to some frustrations, like communication. That's just basic. Like just to not being able to communicate how you feel, that can be frustrating sometimes. Especially when you have a relationship that is like a bicultural relationship. And, well, not that I am speaking from the experience, but I am speaking from the experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because, and I also didn't realize it right away, but with the time that when you're an immigrant, I think that even if you move to another city in your own country, is also a challenge for your brain, because we do a lot of things automatically. We wake up, like your body wakes up in the morning when the clock is da-da-da, then you go to this and that, like you do a lot of things automatically. Even in the shop, where's the shelf with your favorite, I don't know, cheese or something. And here you come to a shop and then like, oh, this is the blah blah blah. Oh, is it like, this is the cheese, or is it like with the milk, or like is it sweet or salty? Like what can I just like? Can I please just take the thing that I can eat and will be like
so much struggle to buy
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
And then like you see, I don't know, like you try to find the same products, or more or less like to find something you would eat. And then you find something similar and you think like, oh, okay, like maybe that kind or the other, or like what, and then you try it and it's totally different then, and like, oh, nah.
But I would say that even finding friends as an adult in every country is difficult. And now when you are in a foreign country, it's even more difficult because you are the one who has to adapt to the society. So you need to put the extra in creating your community and your friendships. And that's very difficult, especially as an adult. And then, well, Sweden has not the best reputation of being super friendly. So it is said that it's difficult to get friendships in Sweden, especially with other Swedes. But at the same time, okay, I can understand it because just by being an adult, it's difficult everywhere else to make friends.
I think in Europe, at least in the places where I lived, it feels even more difficult to make friends as an adult, because at least in my experience in Brazil, and I'm from a very specific part where people are known to be friendly, even if you're an adult and if you get a new job, if you start a course, people are open, they welcome you, they include you somehow. And here it feels like people make friends when they are children, and then they keep the same friends, and it's like there's no space for a new one. So it's like you have to try this application and you really expect someone to accept you into the group, And I don't know, I was wondering if it's similar in Mexico.
Yeah, like in Brazil, for instance, we're very friendly. It's easy to get a new group of friends. For instance, I just get invited to one friend's big party, and I don't know anyone, but I can just go there. I can even bring someone, like my plus one, and that's easy. But here, usually friendships are like one-on-one. you meet with one single person, and it's very difficult that they will include you into their friends group.
Gatekeeping.
For
Feels like gatekeeping.
Yeah, for instance. But yeah, it can be hard. And of course, to bring a +1 to a party, no, never. Or as they say in Sweden, aldrig i livet, like never in life.
And not to mention that I think as an adult, I also I am picky now. I think when you were younger, it's easier to make friends because you are open to people in general. And nowadays I'm like, I know how my time sometimes is short and I have to work and I have to do this and that. So I'm not open to like any random person unless we have a lot of things in common. So I don't know, maybe this is something that Sweden has done to me, or maybe it's just because I got older.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you're a kid, it's easier to get friends because you just make friends with people surrounding you. But when you become an adult, of course, there are more things to consider. Like if you share some values, if you share like common things, some hobbies, some interests. Yeah, so of course, I think it's part of the natural process of adulting to become a little bit more picky.
Okay, interesting. Thank you all for your insights. I think that was a great start. I feel like there's some tension in the room. It's not the easiest conversations to be had. But I'm really happy that we got to share some of our experiences here. Next time, we'll explore what it's like to work in Stockholm, live in Stockholm, and what are some of the costs of living that you can expect if you end up moving here. So yeah, see you next time. We thought it would be helpful for anyone who's never lived here or people who are thinking about visiting to actually know what does it cost like to live here and to build a life here, especially as an immigrant.
The total rent for 151 square meters is